You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
Hey guys, Charge and Hayner at Zoom the TBT, and we're continuing our regional previews here. And Charge, we're going to that upper left. How do you feel about this sort of pod we have here?
Yeah, this pod is going to be amazing. We talked about Columbus already being probably one of the toughest regionals in the TBT this year. But when you look at just a 4-team pod, this thing is incredibly talented, going to be incredibly competitive. So you've got Carmen's Crew, number one, arguably, top team that won it before. Metamaki had a great year last year as an 8. Volunteers as a 9, who's going to be an incredibly strong team. And, of course, my guys, Mid-American Unity, with a lot of TBT experience and have played well in the past. And to be at a 16 is kind of criminal to me. And we'll have Mike on a little later in the show to kind of talk about his seeding and how he approaches what TBT gave him. But it's going to be intense.
I mean, criminal doesn't even felony criminal, like 20 to life level criminal. The underseeding disrespect of 3 of these teams is nuts. Mid-American Unity is the best 16 seed in the field. I don't think it's even much of a question. And then Mackey and Volunteers, that's a 4 or 5 second round game. This is like, and we're big TBT fans. We also do the podcast. We love the TBT. We think they get 95, 99% of things right. This is that 1 to 5% they only got wrong, but they absolutely bombed. But we can talk about our guests with this. So we actually are going to bring on the show. We have GM and guard Mike Perini of Mid-American Unity and forward and center Isaac Hayes and Evan Boudreau from the Metamaki. Gentlemen, how you guys doing tonight?
Good, man. Good.
Awesome. It's really nice to have a great packed little sort of host or sort of a guest list here. So Charge, let's go ahead and get Mike involved here. Let's talk about this 116 matchup. So Charge, what jumps off at you about the Mid-American Unity?
Yeah, I think the thing about Mid-American Unity is you read through some of the names. Some of the names are going to be familiar. I'm really excited they added Jimmy Hall this year. I think that's a huge pickup that's going to, help propel them in an upset over Carmen's Crew. We'll see how that game goes. But the thing about Mid-American Unity that sticks out to me isn't about the players. It's about the toughness of this team that we've seen year after year after year. It doesn't matter who they played. They played Dayton real tough last year in Columbus, or 2 years ago, rather, in Columbus. And, I mean, against a ferocious crowd pulling for Dayton. They're going to get Carmen's Crew this year. So that they're not going to be fazed by this. And these guys are, underrated, for years now to TBT and possibly even their careers, but they keep stepping up and delivering year after year after year and performing admirably. So that's what sticks out most to me, and not necessarily the players, but the attitude and the toughness they bring to TBT.
Yeah, and I mean, Carmen's Crew on the other side of the thing has like the pedigree. They're a former champion. They're bringing Dr. Aaron Kraft out of basketball retirement to stop, inspecting people's tonsils and come back and play a little bit of guard. But the big news today has happened literally 30 minutes before taping is they've added Costa Kufus to back up. They lost Caleb Weston. So they exchanged dominant center for dominant center. You're looking at Kufus' stats from this year. They're nothing special, but this guy's a former Grizzly. He's a Canton guy, which Charge has to love. So adding that sort of size to a team that already has a lot of strength up front really makes it a tough order. So this goes to Mike then. So Mike, obviously no favors being done. Mid-American Unity always gets the lower seed and always outperforms and overplays their sort of pedigree. So is this just more of the same? Or are you guys really looking at this as just an opportunity to prove your worth?
No, we don't have anything to prove. I thank you guys for the heads up about Costa Kufis, my boy Kuf. That's the first word that I got about this situation, and that's a blessing for him to be able to come back and play with those guys at Ohio State. That's one of my good guys. We grew up playing AAU together, so hearing that and being able to compete against him now, that's a blessing. But as far as proving anything, we have nothing to prove to anybody. We never have, a 16 seed, yeah, I got my thoughts and feelings about it, but the seeding doesn't matter. We all have to play through each other. So whether we're a 16 or a 1, we still have to show up. We still have to compete. Whoever wins, that's who wins the day. And you have to look at it as winning the day every single time we step on the court. So as long as we're prepared to do that, and I know our guys are ready, and our coaching staff is ready, and our organization, it's going to be fun and exciting.
Yeah, and so speaking of coaching, obviously you had Cam Joyce lined up last year, have Cam back this year, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and obviously, big name in kind of Northeast Ohio coaching. And so team looks a little different than last year. So as far as the outlook this year, what should we expect this year versus Carmen's crew? So you said you had nothing to prove, but as far as matchups go, how do you think you match up against Carmen's crew?
You know, we focus on us. We're not worried about the matchups. We have to focus on us, and as long as we focus on us, show up, whether it be Karma's crew or whether it had been in Dayton, whether it been Wisconsin, whether it been Bradley, we've always showed up and we handle business. You know, the ball may not have went in our favor a couple times, but at the end of the day, we looked at that. We've tried to correct those things and build for the future. So we're going to focus on us this year and every single year that we're in it. And no matter who we're playing, whether it be Karma's crew, like I said, or whoever, we have to find a way to win that day.
Yeah, and I mean, actually, it's interesting looking at these stats. Again, thank you to TBT Thoughts for slinging these together for us. But like, you look at these rosters, and it's interesting to look at, like, you guys got guys playing at pretty high level leagues in the last year, and you notice the game started stat. Like, guys are really actually contributing at a starting level in leagues like Estonia, like Ukraine, like Hungary, like high B plus, low A minus, like just below EuroLeague or even at EuroLeague level. So is this just the case of the committee not understanding the depth of the talent you have?
I don't think it's that. You know, there's a lot of things that we could look at, and the committee does a great job every single year. There's so many teams that are trying to apply and get into the tournament that a lot of them could have potentially have been in. You know, we're talking about us at a 16 seed, but there's other teams in it that applied that we have to look at, and that also may have the mindset that they should have been in. You know, so the committee has a tough job picking these teams, and that just shows the strength of the tournament every year. We've been in this for 5 years now. We've seen it build over the years. We've had our backs against the wall with the tournament. We continue to try and find a way to build with the tournament. They're doing great. We can't complain about the committee. The committee is doing a great job. All we have to do is show up and do our job, and that's every single day.
Definitely,
yeah. So as
definitely.
we transition over to the men of Mackey, so Mike, I agree with the 16 is probably too low, but you got to play the games. But if they were going to give you a low seed, I would have rather seen you play Red Scare and have Red Scare kind of part two, probably one of the best TBT games in history.
You know, with that, and I'll let you guys transition after that, but they can't do that because the championship is in Dayton, and you know how that goes.
I hear you.
You got to make the fight. You got to make the fight. Absolutely.
You know how that goes.
That's a good transition. Speaking of making the fight, it's one of those interesting things. And Isaac and Evan, let's just cut to the chase. What was your reaction seeing this as the matchup you guys were given? And we'll start with either one of you wants to take that. Like, did you see this and go, did you look at it 2 times? Like, what happened here?
You got it, Evan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any question that, our team's roster, right, is better than an 8. I mean, I don't think that's hard to argue, right? But at the end of the day, like, the way I think we see it is, we're gonna have to beat these teams anyway. And so I think for our fans, it'll be great because it'll be like the Sweet 16 a couple of years ago. I think it'll get some good interest, but yeah, I think we're excited.
Yeah, so Isaac, you got a little taste of TBT last year. You guys had a nice little run down there in the bubble. So what were your takeaways from last year, and how does that prepare you? And I guess as a TBT veteran, you got a few guys that played, but you got a lot of first-time players. So how does that prepare you for Columbus?
Well, I mean, you got to just be on top of your game. I mean, it's not a joke just coming in there and playing. I think Evan knows from last year. Some of those guys that are coming in haven't played in a while or haven't played in the TBT before ought to know that these guys are, they're coming in to play. Like, it's not going to be a walk in the park playing against some noon ballers. Like, it's a bunch of dudes that are coming out there playing like as hard as they can because they want that money at the end of the day. So, I think it's going to be fun. For me personally, I think it's just a matter of just keeping everybody on the same side, making sure that everybody's sharing the ball and getting good shots, and it should just work out in the end.
Yeah, looking at this roster too, I really do like the fact that, like, again, speaking of this, there's a lot of sides. Somebody had made a point on our show that you have some of the biggest guys in the tournament, and this is considered more of a guards league. So, I mean, you obviously played in a high-level league in China, Isaac. You've got a lot of great size. Hummel is doing half-court operations. He's basically playing 3x3 now. is this going to be an advantage to you to go against type and actually try to make this less of a guards game and maybe play to your advantage and make this more of a slower paced game?
I think it could. Just really depends on how the game goes, how they want to defend. You know, they could just double the post every time we get it out, get it inside the post, whether it be for me or AJ or Jaquil or whoever's in the block, because we do obviously have a size advantage. If they do decide to do that, you know, we have a lot of shooters. So I mean, it's a kind of a pick your poison kind of deal. So I mean, I think this year is going to be really special for us because we didn't really have that kind of pull like we did last year. We didn't have those kind of options, so now it's like I just feel like it's all gonna come together quite nicely, to be honest.
Yeah, so Evan, you obviously lost Justin Denton, a big time scorer, but you definitely did a great job backfilling that. You got Lewis Jackson and Robbie Hummel. So how important was it to land those guys this year? And did you have to twist any arms, or after they saw TBT last year and how well you guys did, they were ready to jump in?
Yeah, I think one of the things that is biggest for us is the Purdue community is so close. So, everyone's either spent time together, played open gym together, worked out together. It's not hard to get guys on the horn and like get them together, especially when you can rep, the gold and black again. So there wasn't a lot of arm twisting, I don't think, going on. I'm pretty sure we were all, really excited to come back. And you look at the guys we got. I mean, we got some really high level guys on this team. So we're definitely excited to roll the ball out and get going.
So really what needs to happen here, and I'm the great thing about TBT is it's fan driven. Like Charge and I are allowed to act like we know things because we have a podcast. Realize we're both a couple idiots, for the dozens of people that watch this show. But everybody knows I absolutely despise Tennessee. I'm a Memphis fan. They're the big brother of the state. I would like to see them driven into a ditch. So like, how much of a bounty do I need to put on their heads for you guys to win this game? Like, what can I do to help you win this game?
How much money are you offering?
I'm sure Isaac can,
a lot
do
less
little
than
damage out there.
TBT is. A lot less than TBT is.
No, I think we're gonna go out there and we're gonna play our hearts out, man. At the end of the day, yeah, we're playing for the money, but I think it's just a pride aspect. I said it in an earlier interview, but I think Evan knows this as well. All the Purdue guys coming together and wearing gold and black again. It's a definite pride situation. All those guys are gonna go out there, play together, and play hard, and that's just what we do.
Yeah, no, I mean, and looking at this, it's a tough matchup too, because the Volunteers, and again, like, it's not just that you're underseeded, it's that both of you are underseeded, like in a big way. I mean, this is not it's a 4-5 game. And look at guys like Lofting and Shoot. You guys have Chisholm, who really can be very aggressive around the rim. Like, this is going to be a team, the winner of this game is going to have bruises. So are you guys really prepared for the physicality that the Volunteers alums are going to bring?
Well, I mean, I think I am. I know. That's what I love. I love that bruiser contact. So I'm always ready for that. So Evan, are you ready? That's the question.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna get some rebound war going, just like the old days in practice.
Oh my God, rebound war! Oh yes, those are so much fun. But I also hated them whenever you lost.
The first one to 48 probably wins this game. Well, let's talk about the winning of the game. Let's get into the picks. So this is a big case of personally me going against what I want to have happen. So I'm pretty open about this. I would like to, please make me wrong. So I'm really hoping I'm wrong there. And Mike, if you need any fuel for the fire, we love you guys. We just gave it to you. No one's picking you. So like, Mike, first of all, how wrong are we?
It's going to be a good game, fellas. Every single thing that we see, every person that is overpicked off of what we've done over the years, and we're not just going off of what people are doing now. I'm talking about where we came from, what we built. For us to be where we're at and be there, obviously everybody has to go and pick those favorites, and I understand that, but then it has to get a point where you have to understand these are our brothers. We play against them every day. I'm outside of a gym right now where two of my players are playing against two of the Carmen's Crew players. We've been playing these guys our entire lives. We've had relationships. We played on teams with them. People might want to start looking at what they're picking. They may want to start looking at what they're picking.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Obviously, my heart is obviously 100% with Mid-American Unity, but these guys, which I brought up earlier, they will not be intimidated by anybody, even the Carmen's Crew home crowd. They will not be intimidated by that. They've experienced it, and once again, I can't wait to see you guys in Columbus, and I'll be rooting for the upset. I don't care what my pick says there, but 100% behind Mid-American Unity.
Well, it's
Appreciate
funny
you
too.
guys.
And then I'm just blown away that Hater picked the Volunteers. I mean,
I hate him. I hate
and I
him.
got to give a shout out to Jonathan Octius, obviously charge guy. So not only do they have Isaac and these other folks we talked about, but Octius is one of the guys that I definitely root for. But I'm just shocked, Hayne. I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say about
Isaac and Evan, if you guys win, just let me know where to drop the champagne. I will literally be buying you at least some alcohol. I'm not even kidding. Like, I need to know what room numbers. You guys should just email me the room numbers to send the booze to if you win. I'm not kidding.
We'll be waiting.
Like I said, you better pack it and drive it in from New York.
We got you after this.
Oh,
So
what-
don't worry
hey,
about
what-
it.
Manamaki is winning this game.
Hey, what is the alcohol rules in Ohio? Is it easy to buy there? What kind of backwards ass state do you live in? I always forget.
You'll be fine.
Okay, good. Okay.
There's no rules. Where you living at?
You'll
There's
be
rules.
Hey,
Okay.
on
On
a
that-
side note, I will say, Mike, I hope you guys win that game. Purdue guys, we do not like Ohio State, so
Yeah.
we're gonna be
Yeah.
watching that game.
Listen, big
Hoping
fella,
you guys
big
win.
That'll
that
be
one.
a beautiful
Yeah,
matchup. I can get
Beautiful
behind
matchup.
Mid-American Unity, Manamaki round 2 game all day long.
This
It'll
should be
be
a lot
beautiful.
of fun. A lot of fun.
I was actually at Purdue. I went to Purdue to watch one of my past players play in the tournament. And you guys have a beautiful facility. That was the first time I was there. I got to look at everything around the whole circle. I kept walking. I was blown away with it. So I appreciate that. That means a lot to us, fellas, and good luck your guys' way as well.
Absolutely, man.
On that note, a lot of love. Isaac Hayes, Evan Bedreau, and Mike Perini. Thank you guys so much for swinging by. This has been Zoom to TBT Regional Preview, Columbus in the pods. Signing off.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.